First Flight, Poem number 3, The Ball Poem by John Berryman. About the poet. John Berryman was an American poet and scholar. He was a major figure in American poetry in the second half of the 20th century. His best known work is The Dream Songs, which brought him the Pulitzer Prize and National Book Award. Central idea of the poem. The poet in this poem describes the grief of a boy over the loss of his ball. With that loss, he senses his first responsibility in a materialistic world where those whom you love and your worldly possessions will not be with you forever. Now let's start with the ball poem. Stanza 1. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over, there it is in the water. So in these lines, the poet says that he saw a young boy playing with his ball by the side of a harbor. He threw the ball too high and it went bouncing down the street, and later it fell into the nearby river. The poet now wonders what the boy would do as he has lost his ball. So the beginning of the poem seems to be a simple story about a young boy losing his ball, which is quite a normal thing. But it is the boy's first time experience of the loss of a much beloved possession. Stanza 2. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy, as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down, all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless. So in this stanza, the poet says that the boy is in a state of grief and shock at the loss of his ball. He was staring down the harbor where his ball had gone. He learned for the first time what it is like to experience the loss of his possession. The poet says that there is no benefit of consoling the boy by saying that he will get another ball because all the memories of his childhood days went down the harbor with the ball. So here the poet says that the boy is very sad as the ball, which has now gone into the water, reminds him of all those sweet memories of the time he owned it. The poet feels bad for the little boy but does not want to intrude on the child's privacy. He feels that giving money to the boy to buy another ball would be worthless. Stanza 3. Now he senses first responsibility. In a world of possession, people will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. So further the poet says that the time has come for the boy to learn the responsibility of taking care of his own things. Here the little boy goes through a transformation. He realizes for the first time the pain of losing a worldly possession, and will have to learn that in this materialistic world many of his belongings will be lost. Here the poet personifies the ball and says that this belonging will be the worldly things or the relationships he is in possession of. The boy will have to learn that if he loses something, a new object will not mitigate the loss of that lost object. So according to the poet, money can't buy you everything. Even if you buy back certain things, it will not be able to buy the sense of belongingness. Stanza 4. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of laws, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. So in the last 4 lines of the poem, the poet says that having lost the ball, the little boy's eyes are filled with sadness and desperation at the loss of it. He is learning a lesson of coping up with the loss. He also understands the harsh truth of standing up against the odd miseries of life that everyone has to bear, and remain strong and continue the life. This phenomenon of losses and gains shall continue till life remains.